Hello there, Brick Fanatics! 2024 has just barely started, but already it is time to be thinking about the LEGO sets that will be retiring by the end of this year. There are some absolutely fantastic sets that we are going to be saying goodbye to over the next 12 months. There are also some sets going that, well, we're not going to miss quite as much. There are literally hundreds of LEGO sets scheduled for retirement by the end of December 31st, 2024. A retired LEGO set, by the way, is a set that the LEGO Group is no longer producing more units or copies of. It does not mean that a set is entirely unavailable. For example, in my local toy shop, even though it retired at the end of December 31st, 2023, Dark Trooper Attack is still very much available because they have leftover units, but once those are gone, they are gone. At the same time, some LEGO sets which are scheduled for retirement at the end of this year will be gone long before the official final cutoff. That's just the date by which the LEGO Group is definitely not producing more stock. So take that with the pinch of salt that it requires. Also bear in mind that these dates do tend to shift around. So a LEGO set which is scheduled for retirement now may have its date moved forward or backwards over the course of the year. So not everything on this list is going to be exactly accurate by the time that we get to the end of 2024. With that in mind, you see now scrolling on screen a ticker tape of all of the sets which are retiring by the end of 24 according to the current LEGO Group schedule. And bear in mind, yes, that will change over the course of the next 12 months. But in addition to that, we are going to now focus on some of these sets that you are probably going to want to be aware of as retiring over the next 12 months, because they are some of the coolest and some of the weirdest things that are currently on the market. Once these sets are gone, they are gone, and with some of these themes, once the LEGO Group has officially retired these sets, we might not be getting anything quite the same ever again. Let's have a look at some of the absolute coolest, weirdest, and otherwise more noteworthy LEGO sets that are going to be retiring by the end of December 31st, 2024. Star Wars 75290 Mos Eisley Cantina. Oh, now this is an absolute cracker. It is a shame to see it go, but at the same time, it's been on the market since 2020, which, steel yourself, means that this is its 4th year on sale. Yes, it's been 4 years now since 2020. Oh! One of the very sparse Master Builder series. We've had 2 sets in this series, this one and Betrayal on Cloud City. These sets are designed, according to the LEGO Group, to be a little bit more play-focused than the Ultimate Collector series ships, which are more designed for just display purposes. So there's a lot of cool nooks and crannies in Mos Eisley Cantina where you can explore and find new cool weird things. And there's also a lot of cool minifigures that are probably never going to be repeated, or at least not anytime soon, which are just absolutely fantastic. And for that reason alone, if this set is on your list, you might want to consider grabbing it before it disappears forever. 75371 Chewbaca. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, it is absolutely no wonder why this thing is retiring. It is not exactly proven popular. Something about just the weird design of it, the fact that it's somewhat creepy, and the fact that, seriously, every time I pick this thing up, additional pieces just start falling off. It's not exactly a very sturdy build. Just bear in mind that it is going. With that, it's probably going to be on sale in some places because, as said, it's not really proven very popular, so you might be able to get it on the cheap. Ideas. 21318 Treehouse. Oh, now here is just a perennial favourite that seems to have been on sale forever. It debuted in 2019, which means it has been, in LEGO terms, a very long and healthy life for this particular set. This is one of the larger LEGO Ideas sets, and indeed a lot of the ones that we've been having recently and that we'll be getting in the near future have been somewhat more limited in scope, and that's not a bad thing because obviously sometimes we want a little build, but if you want an absolutely massive Ideas set that just takes up an entire coffee table, then this is well worth grabbing while it's still available. 21339 BTS Dynamite. Again, on the other side of the spectrum, we have the BTS LEGO set, which, given that it only came out in 2023, it does feel like perhaps this one hasn't landed quite as the LEGO Group had hoped. There is no shortage of BTS fans, that cannot be denied, but the intersection between fans of LEGO and fans of BTS may not have been quite as wide as had been forecast. It's hard to know exactly what happens with a LEGO set and how it may be impacted by various different factors when going on sale, but the fact that this one's retiring so soon suggests that this is an experiment that the LEGO Group might not want to repeat anytime soon. Marvel 76210 Hulkbuster. This is another one that it's kind of a surprise that it has gone for as long as it has. The Hulkbuster was not particularly popular when it first came out because it looks absolutely nothing like the Hulkbuster from the MCU films. At the same time, this is one of the larger Marvel sets that we've had at a time when the LEGO Group was experimenting to try and figure out what a display Marvel set would actually be like, and it turns out I think they've had significantly more success making Marvel buildings rather than these large statuesque display pieces. 76244 Miles Morales versus Morbius. Yes, sadly, it is the end of Morbin time. Harry Potter. 76405 Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition and 76423 Hogwarts Express and Hogsmeade Station. Generally, there's almost always a Hogwarts Express on sale whenever the LEGO Group produces Harry Potter LEGO. It's one of the icons of Harry Potter, as well as being popular among train enthusiasts who love to have a large LEGO railway. The fact that both of these sets are retiring at the same time suggests that either we're going to be getting a new Hogwarts Express at some point in the not too distant future, or that the LEGO Group is trying something very different with Harry Potter. We'll have to wait and see which one, but in the meantime, if you are looking for one or either or both of these Harry Potter LEGO trains, then now is the time to go for them. Indiana Jones. All of them. All three Indiana Jones sets are retiring at the end of 2024. And given the reception to the Dial of Destiny, it might be the case that these are the last Indiana Jones LEGO sets that we get for a while. That's not set in stone, and definitely have no particular insight into that confirms this. Just saying this might be something that the LEGO Group considers or thinks twice about expanding further, especially given that these three are retiring now, having not been on the market for like forever. But I get the feeling that the Indiana Jones brand is not as potent as it was the first time that LEGO did Indiana Jones sets. Technic. 42096 Porsche 911 RSR. The Porsche 911 is one of those classic cars that of course got the LEGO Technic treatment. Seeing this one retired, it does mean that one of those icons of automobile history will no longer be available, but at the same time there are other cars if you are a car enthusiast and you like Technic. Definitely one that's worth checking out if you are still on the fence about it, because once these are gone, it's not impossible that we get another 911 in the future, but it might be a few years. Icons. 10274 Ghostbusters Ecto-1. Who you gonna call? Not the LEGO Group, because apparently that ship is sailing. Ghostbusters is one of those intellectual properties that the LEGO Group likes to just dip into every now and then. We've never had like a really big, expansive number of these sets, and certainly given the fact that the target audience for these sets are normally a bit older, generally one large, nice one does the job. It's sad to see the Ecto-1 go, although this is potentially not the last we'll ever see of LEGO Ghostbusters. Still though, for the moment, this is it, and once it's gone, you're not going to be able to get any Ghostbusters for a while. 10306 Atari 2600. LEGO recreations of iconic gaming hardware do seem to be something that the LEGO Group has been enjoying making over the last few years. We've had the Nintendo Entertainment System, more on that a little bit later in this list. We've had the Atari, and more recently we've had the Pac-Man arcade machine. The fact that the Atari 2600 is retiring now does not mean that we're not going to be getting any more of these similar sets, but I imagine that there's not a huge call for additional Atari-based LEGO sets, simply because the LEGO gaming enthusiast sphere is so wide and dense that there are so many other things that could be done. So this is one that if you are a big Atari fan, you'll want to bear in mind it's retiring, because I imagine that the next time the LEGO Group does this, they've got so many other choices for different types of gaming things that they could do, it's probably not necessarily going to be another Atari thing. Architecture. 21057 Singapore. Singapore has an absolutely gorgeous skyline, so it will be a bit of a disappointment to see the end of this set, especially among architecture fans and those who enjoy collecting LEGO cityscapes. Ninjago. 71741 Ninjago City Gardens. A lot of Ninjago sets are in a state of perennial refresh. There's always something similar on the market. You're always going to have the big mechs, you're always going to have some kind of dragon, you're always going to have some kind of temple. So with a lot of these sets, once they're gone, it's not like the end of the world. There'll be something similar again. The Ninjago City sets are the exception to this, because yes, while there might be more in the future, each one is so packed with cool and interesting features and just neat stuff inside that it feels like a loss if you don't end up picking one up. For fans of modular buildings, for fans of building their own Lego cities, this one is one to bear in mind, because if you've not picked it up already, the clock is ticking and there will not be anything like it again. Not anything quite like it, even if there are more Lego Ninjago cityscapes in the future. And with the upcoming Lego Ninjago mini builds, the gift with purchase sets that we are going to be getting in the near future, you'll want the little builds to match up with the big ones if at all possible, because they're just neat. Dreams. All Dreams Lego sets that are currently on the market will be retiring by the end of 2024. Whether we get more sets in the future or whether that is the end of this theme remains to be seen, but it is worth bearing in mind because some of these are quite inventive, and I don't feel like a lot of them have got their due, really. Like there's some juice in there that hasn't quite been exploited by the Lego community just yet. DC. Similarly, all DC LEGO sets will be retiring by the end of 2024. All of them, by the way, are Batman themed in some way. There is nothing else in the DC catalogue at the moment. Now, coming in the near future is going to be an attempt at a big refresh of DC movies, with a very interesting looking Superman film coming from director James Gunn, and when that comes we might have a different ecosystem around DC Lego sets. But for the moment this feels like a theme that is somewhat on its last legs. Like, enthusiasm has just kind of petered out, which is a real shame for fans of Batman and a real shame for fans of any other DC superhero who are just not getting their treatment at all. So we'll have to wait and see what comes in the future for this. I don't imagine that these are the end of Lego Batman, but definitely things are slowing down somewhat. Nintendo. A large number of the LEGO Super Mario sets are retiring by the end of 2024. Indeed, all of them that were released before November of 2023. There are some LEGO Nintendo sets from after November of last year which are going to be sticking around for a lot longer. We're getting Animal Crossing LEGO sets in the near future, but the big thing to take away here is that some of the nice, meaty, chunky LEGO sets, the question mark block, the Nintendo Entertainment System, they are retiring at the end of this year as well. One has to hope that there are some cool things on the horizon for LEGO and Nintendo. Mario minifigures would be nice, Zelda LEGO would be nice, but we'll have to wait and see what we get in the near future. Sonic the Hedgehog. As with LEGO Mario, everything LEGO Sonic related that was released prior to 2024 will be retiring by the end of this year, which means that by the end of 2024 we will only have the Rouge and Knuckles set and the Shadow set on sale. And given that this is the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog theme, one has to assume that we'll be getting some other sets during this year, because you can't not have Sonic in your LEGO Sonic theme. Speed Champions. Hey look, this is another one where everything that released prior to 2024 is retiring by the end of this year. So if you are a fan of the Speed Champions cars, get them while you can, because they are gone. Collectible minifigures. It's not particularly surprising, but LEGO Collectible Minifigures Series 25 will be retiring by the end of this year. Shock horror, that's what they normally do. These things don't stay on the market for very long. It's also worth assuming then that the heavily rumoured space theme of Collectible Minifigures will also retire before the end of 2024, because that's just how these things roll. Disney. 43227 Villain Icons. Here's a neat one that apparently just isn't sticking around very long. With Disney and its 100th anniversary, the LEGO Group produced a bunch of cool, neat LEGO sets, but not all of them need to stick around beyond that anniversary year, I suppose. And while the Villain Icon set is quite cool, there are other things that can be done with LEGO and Disney. All the Wish sets. Yes, apparently LEGO Wish is no more. It's not exactly Encanto in terms of staying power in the public consciousness, so these are all going goodbye. And that being the case, if you are one of those people that wants to have all of the LEGO Disney princesses in some form or other, while I'm not sure if Wish technically falls under the Disney Princess banner just yet, it's well worth grabbing one of these sets just for the mini dolls alone. Avatar. All remaining LEGO Avatar sets will be retiring by July of 2024, so they're not even sticking around for the whole of the year. And that does kind of make sense, because while Avatar was very big, everyone's gone quiet again and probably will remain quiet until the next film comes out, when everyone will go and see it, and then everyone will go quiet again. That's just apparently how Avatar works. Jurassic World. Right, so this is an interesting one because every Jurassic World set is retiring by the end of 2024. That doesn't mean that there won't be any sets in the theme. We will still have the Jurassic Park Nostalgia set, and we will have the Camp Cretaceous set. So there will still be some things in the Jurassic theme on sale, but there won't be any other Jurassic World sets, which does kind of make sense because Jurassic World as a trilogy has kind of come to its end, and the things that remain are nostalgia for old people and excitement for young people watching the streaming show instead. Monkey Kid 80036, The City of Lanterns. It seems that Monkey Kid might end up being one of those themes like City, like Ninjago, like Friends, that just stays in perpetual refresh within the LEGO group, because it's proven very, very popular, certainly in one part of the world, and as such, you can just keep making these things and a new generation of kids will always come up and want to buy them. The big loss for this list then, while several are going, is the City of Lanterns because of the way that it clips in and connects with Megapolis City. And certainly if you're interested in getting the whole full collection of these wild and weird sets, it's worth being able to get both parts. You won't be able to get City of Lanterns once it's retired, so now is the time to start thinking about whether or not you want to have the entire connected cityscape. City 60336, Freight Train. Now, as mentioned, City is in perpetual refresh. You tend to get the same things over and over and over, and once one thing retires, another thing comes in. That being the case, the set that's well worth bearing in mind from the LEGO City selection that are retiring at the end of the year is the Freight Train, because while you can have endless different variants on the same thing, if you are a LEGO Trains person, you're going to want every single one, and with the Freight Train going, whatever replaces this will be slightly different, and you don't want to miss out on a train, do you? Do you? Really? No. Art. 31209 The Amazing Spider-Man and 31210 Modern Art. 2023 was a fabulous year for LEGO art in some respects. We got this wonderful Hokusai, which is absolutely one of the, if not the best LEGO set that I've ever put together. Absolutely love it. At the same time, following that were a few swings and misses for the LEGO art theme. Both Amazing Spider-Man and Modern Art really tried, and you have to admire that attempt at doing something different and innovative. At the same time, neither one really quite click. And this is unfortunately the whole concept of art in general. Some things work for some people better than others, and some different types of experimentation work where others do not. While it's very interesting to see what we'll be getting from LEGO art in 2024, both of these sets retiring so soon is an indication that neither one really clicked with audiences and consumers. Friends 41757 Botanical Garden. As mentioned in a recent video, we'll be getting a new Botanical Garden from the LEGO Ideas theme in the future, and there's no specific date for when that's coming, but what we do know is that the Botanical Garden from the LEGO Friends range is going to be retiring by the end of this year. There's probably not going to be an overlap between these two sets, but it does make sense for the one to retire before the other one comes in, and one does have to wonder whether the decision to retire the Friends one is in any way influenced by the fact that we know that another one is coming and that this one has proven so popular with collectors who like to spend a little bit more money. Maybe that's just cynicism talking, but bear in mind, either way, these two Botanical Gardens are probably not going to be on sale on the market at the same time. Gabbys Dollhouse. All Gabbys Dollhouse sets are retiring by the end of 2024, with the exception of Gabbys Dollhouse itself, which is going to stick around for at least a little bit longer. And given that Gabbys Dollhouse is phenomenally popular with Netflix and is doing gangbusters in merchandise in general, this is not a case of a theme suddenly dying off very quickly. It's probably just that the LEGO Group are looking to do something different and find some other smaller Gabbys Dollhouse sets that they can put on sale alongside the larger one. That said, I've got no proof of that either way. It's just worth bearing in mind. If you're after getting like a small Gabbys Dollhouse set for yourself or for a person in your life that really enjoys Gabbys Dollhouse, then bear in mind that these ones won't be around forever, but there will potentially still be some other Gabbys Dollhouse going into 2025. Brickheads. Most Brickheads are retiring by the end of 2024. That includes the Lord of the Rings ones, the Harry Potter ones, and the Sonic the Hedgehog ones. All we're going to be left with are a selection of Disney ones in some form or other, whether that's Disney Prime, whether that's Star Wars, whether that's Marvel, but it's just worth bearing in mind that with the exception of the Disney licensed ones, everything else is going. Is the LEGO Group clearing room for other licensed Brickhead sets? Are we just going all Disney from now on? It's hard to say, but either way, if you're a really big fan of like a chunky, funny looking golem made out of Lego, you know that you need to buy one sooner rather than later. Minecraft 21246 The Deep Dark Battle. The Minecraft theme is very inventive and has some fantastic ideas either plucked straight from the games or just kind of generated wildly from the imagination of the LEGO designers. That being the case, while it is sad to say goodbye to the Deep Dark Battle, at the same time it's fun to think of what kind of weird new fun ideas we'll be getting in the near future from this theme, because chances are whatever they come up with next, it's going to be just as interesting. Seasonal 80112 The Auspicious Dragon. This thing is gorgeous. This thing is absolutely delightful. There's not been a chance to do a video review of it thus far, but just for those who are wondering, it's well worth picking up. It's really, really neat. With a lot of these seasonal sets, they only tend to last a year anyway, so that the LEGO Group can then get you to buy another one the following year. With the dragon in particular, where some of the other brick-built designs for Lunar New Year sets did feel like they were kind of, you could use them for that year and then it wasn't the year of the rabbit anymore, so you need to get something else. With this one, I can imagine you just keeping this on the shelf in perpetuity because it is just absolutely gorgeous. Also, special shout out to Behind My Head, the family reunion set there, which is one of my absolute favourites of all time. It's just spectacular, and there's a reason why it is on display in exactly the place where I see it, where I'm working at my desk, even if it's not necessarily always very visible in these videos. Classic 11013 Creative Transparent Bricks. So with these classic boxes, they're just big boxes of Lego. To be honest, it's hard to mourn any of them in particular. I picked this one out because it's got a lot of trans bricks in it, and trans love is important. Other. Nebulous category, this one, 40634 Icons of Play. If there's one thing that has come across from the LEGO Group's every attempt at making LEGO football in the past 5 to 10 years, it is that the LEGO Group has absolutely no idea what they're doing with LEGO football. Icons of Play is one of the more interesting sets that we've had because, for one thing, it's significantly more affordable than, say, Old Trafford, but also because it uses real likenesses of real football players in order to get across the message that women football is cool. And that alone is something that is very nice to have in LEGO form. Anyway, this has been some of the coolest, weirdest, wildest, and otherwise interesting LEGO sets that are retiring over the coming year. Bear in mind that not all of these sets will necessarily retire when scheduled because the LEGO Group's schedule does shift around. Bear in mind that just because a set has retired, it doesn't mean that it is not available at all. And bear in mind that just because it is set at retiring at the end of this year does not mean that the stock won't peter out before that point. With all of that said, if you are going to be making a lego.com purchase for any of these sets, make sure that you use the QR code, which is currently on screen, or the link which is down in the description, because you do so going through the affiliate link for Brick Fanatics and help to support us in the process. It just gives us a little bit of a kickback when you make a lego.com purchase. Otherwise, if you're looking for a good sale, the Brick Fanatics website has all manner of deals on it so that you can get up-to-the-minute information on anything that is going on sale, so that if there are any of these LEGO sets that you have your eye on, but you've not quite found the price that you're looking for yet, check out the website and there you might be able to find exactly what you're looking for. Make sure that you sign up to the newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again, and make sure that you do all of the regular YouTube things. Give this video a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down below letting us know which LEGO set you are going to be the most disappointed about losing out on and which one you are definitely going to pick up before it retires. Thank you very much for watching.